For analysis into that case and the trial, I'm joined by two local journalists who covered it, Perla Trevizo from the Arizona Daily Star and Paul Ingram from Tucson Sentinel. My thanks to both of you for being here. How is it that it was an acquittal and then a hung jury on those two lesser charges?
Yes, it is very rare that an agent is even prosecuted or indicted for a shooting. And so this was one of the few ones, at least the third one in Arizona in the last 20 or 30 years.
Paul, Perla said this is rare because in fact it was. This is the first time we've had a federal agent shooting south into Mexico. Moving into this trial, was this case in an unusual place?
Very much so. I mean, there was a period of about 2 years where Border Patrol agents shot 5 teenage boys. And really, Lonnie Swartz is the only one who was ever prosecuted for it. All the other agents were found that it was a good shoot by the Department of Justice. So this case really is unique in that way. And it's also really a rare prosecution of a Border Patrol agent for using force.
We think about this case, and there is video.
Mm-hmm.
The jury actually traveled to the site during the evening hours when this, took place. How unusual is it for a jury to have access to so much of what actually took place?
In this particular case, you had infrared cameras that actually could see the incident, but one camera was about half a mile away, and the other camera was close, but one of the operators didn't actually focus at the camera when he zoomed in. So there's parts of the incident that we can see, but the image is blurry, and you never really have sort of a perfect camera angle during an incident.
The prosecution made a video of the two cameras side by side, so you could kind of follow what was going on the U.S. side and then follow what was going on the Mexican side,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so from one of the cameras, you can clearly see Agent Swartz approaching the fence. You can see him, with his weapon drawn. You can see him moving the 45 feet along the fence. You can see him shooting again, stepping back, and shooting again. But then on the other side, as Paul was mentioning, especially the infrared, you can kind of see figures that are making a rock throwing motion, but it's hard to discern how many they are and what happens to them. There was also a pole that was obstructing the view from that angle, so that had some limitations to what the jury was seeing and how much of a full picture they were getting of what had happened that night.
I mean, one thing that's important about this case is that where Jose Antonio was standing, he was below a 14-foot cliff, and then of course Swartz was standing behind a 22-foot tall fence. So the terrain really does matter, and the jury got to see that. What's interesting is that it was actually the defense that really argued that they wanted to show the scene, but I tend to think that for the prosecution it was also useful because they wanted to show that where Lonnie Swartz was standing, he was in some ways protected by the fence, and he was really at a different angle. He was up to 90 feet away from Jose Antonio when he first started shooting.
The defense really tried to portray that an agent here felt that his life was in danger, despite the terrain, the geography. But the jurors also saw the video where an agent reloaded his service pistol at least once, and there were, is it 16 shots that were fired at the young man?
In 34 seconds.
Yeah, so he walked up to the fence and he fired 3 shots. And then he moved down to the fence and then he emptied his magazine. He fired 10 shots. And when he was moving, he reloaded and then fired 3 more. At that point, then he reached down, picked up the magazine that he dropped, put it in his pants, and then heads off camera. So we do get a sense of how many shots he fired, and we know that 10 of those rounds hit Jose Antonio, 8 in the back and 2 in the head.
Mm-hmm. Despite the evidence, despite what was presented at trial, this was a tough case going in.
It's important for people to understand that that finding a police officer guilty of using force has a really high bar. It's a difficult, because the way that the law is structured is really set up in such a way to protect officers that when they use their weapon, they're acting above and beyond what normal citizens can do, and so the law tends to protect that and tends to protect their actions. So it means really that the bar for prosecution is very high, and also it makes it very easy for the defense to build a case or to really kind of structure a case around just creating reasonable doubt.
The defense, all they need is for a juror to be unsure, right? It has to be a unanimous decision. So even if the prosecution has a really strong case, all the defense needs is for one juror to be, well, I don't know, they were throwing rocks, it was dark, I'm not sure I can do this, or I'm not sure what my decision would be. And if they're not sure, then that's it.
Because the defense presented that being on the border at night with rocks, when perhaps if you hear a rock hit a fence, you won't know if it's a gunshot or if it's a rock. I mean, there's a very clear and present danger at the moment.
And going back to Paul's point, I think, you know, while the defense kept telling the jurors, Border Patrol is not like us, you know, you have to put yourselves in his shoes. They're not in the comfort of a courtroom, and the prosecution, on the other hand, tried to tell them, you know, they are like us and they're human like us, and they should be held accountable just like we would. And so that was an interesting thing to see, that while one side tried to portray the Border Patrol and the agents as so different that you can't even imagine what they go through, and the prosecution trying to bring it back to they're just humans like us.
Okay, very insightful. My thanks to both of you.
Thank you.